Many people spend their entire lives believing that greatness must be announced. They think success begins the moment the world notices them. They chase applause before they have earned respect. They speak of victories that have not yet been won and dream of crowns they have not yet proved worthy to wear. But history has never crowned the loudest voice. It has always remembered the strongest character. The ship that was quieter than the submarines it hunted understood a truth that many people never discover. It did not seek to dominate the ocean with noise. It did not roar through the waves demanding attention. Instead, every part of its design reflected discipline, every engine was refined, every movement was controlled. Every vibration was reduced. While others searched for power in size and speed, this ship searched for perfection in silence. And that silent excellence became its greatest weapon. King Arthur knew this lesson long before steel ships sailed the seas. He never gathered the knights of the Round Table to boast about the battles they would one day fight. He gathered them to become worthy of those battles. Every knight trained when no one was watching. Every sword was sharpened before the enemy appeared. Every lesson was learned before the trumpet of war sounded. Arthur understood that a kingdom is not protected by promises, but by preparation. Look around the world today. Everywhere you turn, people are trying to be seen. They want recognition before achievement, praise before sacrifice, and rewards before effort. They measure success by followers instead of wisdom, by attention instead of character. Yet attention fades as quickly as a passing storm, while true excellence remains long after the noise has disappeared. The silent ship teaches us that greatness is built where no audience exists. It is created in the quiet hours when no one is clapping, when no one is offering encouragement, and when no one is keeping score. Those unseen moments shape the person you become. Every disciplined decision is another plank in the ship that will one day carry you through life's fiercest storms. Imagine the craftsmen who built that vessel. They knew that a single unnecessary sound could mean the difference between survival and destruction. They obsessed over details invisible to the ordinary eye. They accepted that perfection is not achieved by doing one thing extraordinarily well, but by doing thousands of small things correctly. That is how legends are made, not through one dramatic moment, but through countless ordinary moments handled with extraordinary care. Your own life is no different. Every habit you build is like another piece of that silent ship. Every book you read strengthens its hull. Every skill you practice sharpens its purpose. Every temptation you resist makes it steadier against the waves. These victories may seem invisible today, but invisible victories always become visible success. There will always be people who mistake silence for weakness. They will believe that because you are not announcing your plans, you have none. They will assume that because you are not competing for attention, you are falling behind. Let them believe it. The greatest advantage often belongs to the one who is underestimated. An enemy who cannot measure your strength can never truly prepare for it. A wise king never reveals every strategy before the battle begins. A master archer does not celebrate before releasing the arrow. A blacksmith does not display unfinished steel and call it a sword. They all understand that true confidence does not demand recognition. It quietly continues the work until excellence can no longer be ignored. The sea itself reflects this wisdom. The loudest waves often crash against the shore, only to disappear within moments. But beneath the surface, silent currents travel across entire oceans, shaping coastlines and guiding the course of ships. Their power is unseen yet undeniable. Become like those currents. Let your discipline flow beneath the surface. Let your actions carry more weight than your words. Let your character become so strong that one day the world will not remember what you claimed you would become. It will remember what you quietly became. Power without discipline has defeated more warriors than any enemy ever could. Many believe victory belongs to the strongest arm, the sharpest sword, or the largest army. They think overwhelming force guarantees success. But every page of history tells a different story. Kingdoms have fallen despite having countless soldiers. Mighty fortresses have collapsed despite towering walls. Great empires have disappeared because they possessed power without the wisdom to control it. The ship that was quieter than the submarines it hunted did not rely on brute force to accomplish its mission. It carried advanced weapons capable of immense destruction, yet its greatest strength was not found in its missiles or its technology. Its greatest strength was restraint. It knew when to move and when to remain still. It knew when to search and when to wait. It understood that one careless decision could reveal its position, while one patient decision could secure victory without firing a single shot. King Arthur ruled with the same understanding. He did not draw Excalibur every time someone questioned his authority. A king who reaches for his sword at every insult soon discovers he has become a servant of his emotions instead of a master of his kingdom. Arthur knew that patience was not hesitation. Patience was controlled strength. It was the ability to wait until the right moment, when one decisive action could achieve what 100 reckless attacks never could. Think of an archer standing upon the castle walls. The inexperienced warrior releases every arrow as quickly as possible, hoping that one will strike the target. The master archer breathes deeply, steadies his hands, studies the wind, and waits. To those watching, it appears as though he is doing nothing. Yet in those silent moments, he is preparing for the shot that cannot fail. When the arrow finally leaves the bow, it flies with purpose rather than desperation. Life rewards those who understand this difference. Many people rush because they fear being left behind. They make decisions in anger, speak words they cannot take back, abandon dreams because progress feels slow, and chase every opportunity without asking whether it leads toward their true destination. They mistake movement for progress, but a horse running in the wrong direction only carries its rider farther from the castle. The silent ship reminds us that discipline is not about moving faster. It is about moving wisely. Every member of its crew trusted the process. They followed procedures even when shortcuts seemed easier. They practiced until excellence became instinct. Their confidence did not come from hope. It came from preparation repeated so many times that even under pressure they remained calm. That is how every great knight earned his place at the Round Table, not because he never faced fear, but because he refused to let fear command him. Every sunrise brought another day of training. Every failure became another lesson. Every setback strengthened his resolve instead of weakening it. While others searched for easier battles, true knights prepared themselves to become stronger warriors. Your greatest enemy is rarely the obstacle standing before you. More often, it is the impatience growing within you. It whispers that success should come quickly. It tempts you to abandon discipline for comfort, consistency for excuses, and purpose for distraction. It tells you that one missed day does not matter, that one broken promise is harmless, that one moment of weakness changes nothing. But kingdoms are not lost in a single day. They are lost through countless small compromises. Likewise, greatness is not built in one heroic moment. It is built every time you choose discipline over comfort, patience over panic, and purpose over pleasure. Imagine the blacksmith forging a knight's sword. If he rushes the fire, the steel becomes weak. If he strikes too early, the blade bends. If he cools it before its time, it shatters in battle. The process cannot be hurried because strength demands patience. The same is true for character. Every challenge is another strike of the hammer. Every disappointment is another moment in the fire. Every trial is shaping you into someone capable of carrying responsibilities that weaker spirits could never bear. The ocean itself teaches this lesson. It does not carve cliffs through violence alone. It transforms mountains through relentless patience, wave after wave, season after season, year after year. What appears slow is often unstoppable. What appears quiet is often the strongest force of all. So when others rush toward every distraction, remain focused. When others react in anger, choose wisdom. When others seek shortcuts, continue walking the longer road that builds lasting strength. A disciplined soul does not fear time, because it understands that every patient step taken with purpose brings the throne of victory closer. And when the decisive moment finally arrives, those who mastered themselves long before the battle began will discover that victory was never earned in the final charge. It was earned in every quiet choice that led them there. There is one lesson that separates wise rulers from reckless kings, master warriors from ordinary soldiers, and lasting legends from forgotten names. It is not the ability to speak with confidence. It is the ability to listen with purpose. The ship that was quieter than the submarines it hunted survived because it understood something deeper than strength. It knew that every sound carried meaning. A faint vibration beneath the waves could reveal the location of an enemy. A small change in the rhythm of the ocean could expose danger long before it appeared. Victory did not belong to the crew that spoke the most. It belonged to the crew that listened the best. That is a lesson our world desperately needs. Today, everyone wants to be heard. People race to express opinions before understanding the truth. They interrupt before they learn. They argue before they think. They react before they observe. They fill every moment with noise, believing that speaking first makes them wiser. But wisdom has never been measured by the number of words a person speaks. Wisdom is measured by the number of truths a person discovers. King Arthur did not build Camelot by surrounding himself with people who only praised him. He surrounded himself with knights who observed carefully, spoke honestly, and listened faithfully. Before every great campaign, the Round Table gathered not to compete for attention, but to understand the battlefield. Each knight listened to the experiences of the others, knowing that a single overlooked detail could change the fate of an entire kingdom. Arthur himself listened before giving commands, because a ruler who refuses to hear the truth eventually loses the right to lead. Imagine standing in a dense forest at night. The impatient traveler crashes through the trees, frightening every creature around him. His footsteps echo, his breathing grows louder, and in his haste he notices nothing except his own fear. But the experienced ranger moves differently. He pauses, he studies the wind, he listens to the rustling leaves, the distant river, and the songs of unseen birds. The forest begins to reveal its secrets because he respects its silence. What was hidden from the impatient man becomes obvious to the patient one. Life is much the same. Every conversation carries clues. Every failure carries a lesson. Every challenge carries an opportunity. But only those who slow down long enough to listen will discover them. The crew aboard that remarkable ship trusted their ears more than their eyes. Beneath the ocean's surface there was often nothing to see, yet everything could be heard by those trained to notice the smallest detail. They knew that reacting too quickly could expose them, while listening a little longer could save countless lives. Their discipline transformed information into victory. How many opportunities pass unnoticed simply because people are too distracted to hear them? Advice from a mentor is ignored because pride speaks louder. A warning from experience is dismissed because impatience refuses to wait. A valuable lesson hidden inside failure is overlooked because disappointment fills the mind with noise. Sometimes the greatest treasure is not hidden from your eyes. It is hidden beneath the noise of your own thoughts. A true knight understood that silence was never empty. Silence was where understanding was born. Before drawing his sword, he studied his opponent. Before crossing a bridge, he tested its strength. Before making a promise, he considered whether he could keep it. These moments of reflection often prevented battles that reckless men eagerly rushed into. The strongest victory has always been the one achieved through wisdom rather than unnecessary conflict. There is another reason listening creates power. When you truly listen, you begin to understand people. You recognize their fears, their hopes, their strengths, and their weaknesses. A king who understands his people rules with justice. A leader who understands his team earns loyalty. A warrior who understands his enemy often wins before the first sword is raised. Knowledge gathered through patient observation is a weapon sharper than any blade forged by human hands. The ocean never reveals all its secrets at once. It rewards those who remain patient enough to study its rhythm. In the same way, life does not reveal its greatest opportunities to those who rush from one distraction to another. It reveals them to those who remain calm while everyone else is panicking, to those who keep learning while everyone else is talking, and to those who keep observing while everyone else is seeking. Attention never mistakes silence for weakness. Silence is often where courage gathers its strength. It is where ideas become plans, where discipline defeats impulse, and where ordinary people quietly transform into extraordinary leaders. The loudest voice in the room may capture attention for a moment, but the person who listens, learns, and acts with wisdom will shape the future long after the echoes of empty words have disappeared. When your time comes to face life's greatest battles, you will discover that victory rarely belongs to the one who spoke first. It belongs to the one who understood the battlefield before anyone else. Just as that silent hunter beneath the endless sky conquered the depths by listening before acting, you too can rise above every challenge when you replace reaction with wisdom, noise with understanding, and pride with the quiet confidence of a king who knows that the strongest command is often given only after every important lesson has first been heard. Every generation searches for the secret of greatness. Some believe it is found in power. Others chase fame, wealth, or recognition. But the story of the ship that was quieter than the submarines it hunted reveals a far greater truth. The strongest force is not always the loudest. The greatest victories are often won long before the battle begins. They are earned through discipline when no one is watching, through patience when everyone else is rushing, and through wisdom when others are consumed by noise. King Arthur's legacy was never built upon the shine of Excalibur alone. It was built upon men and women who mastered themselves before they sought to master the world. They understood that a kingdom can only stand as strong as the character of those who defend it. In the same way, your future will never be determined by how loudly you announce your dreams, but by how faithfully you work toward them in silence. So, let the world compete for attention if it chooses. Let others boast before they achieve, argue before they understand, and seek applause before they have earned respect. You choose a different path, Build your strength quietly. Sharpen your mind daily. Let discipline become your shield, patience your compass, and wisdom your greatest weapon. Become so prepared that opportunities recognize you before people do. Because when life's greatest battle finally arrives, you will not need to convince anyone that you are capable. Your actions will speak with a voice louder than any words ever could. And like that remarkable ship which ruled the depths not through noise but through mastery, the world will one day discover that those who learn to move with purpose, listen with wisdom, and persevere with unwavering discipline become the legends that history never forgets.